Welcome to the Common Core Clinic's training video. This video will provide you with an in-depth view of the Common Core Clinic's ELA product. You will have an opportunity to view important details and highlights of the student edition. We are very excited about this product and believe it will be a huge help in transitioning teaching and student learning to the Common Core state standards. The clinics were created to help teachers transition to the Common Core state standards. The format of the Common Core is dramatically different from previous state-specific standards, so teachers and students will need materials to introduce and ease them into it. To give teachers flexibility in the transition, there are 3 different clinics books for each grade level. Each book focuses on a different Common Core strand. However, the lesson format will be the same from book to book. The Common Core clinics are not test prep. There's no test yet. The purpose of this product is to give the students a stepping stone from where they were when learning state-specific standards to where they need to be when learning the Common Core standards. In addition to the student book, there is a teacher's guide that comes with this product and acts as an answer key for the questions within the book. What better way to learn about this product than to take a detailed look at the pages in the student edition? It may be helpful for you to follow along and make notes in your own copy of the Common Core Clinic's books. You may also want to go back or pause to read the callouts that pop up on each page to further highlight the important information and features of the product. In this video, I will review Grade 1 and Grade 5, but the structure and layout of the Grade 1 and 2 books are the same, and the structure and layout of the Grade 3 through 8 books is also the same. Each book begins with an introduction for the students to help them understand the layout of their book. Each lesson is structured the exact same way and is based on the gradual release of responsibility model. In Grade 1 and 2, the students start with Get the Idea, which is the guided instruction so the teacher can model the concept. The Think About It is guided practice, and the Try It is independent practice for the students. Finally, the students are asked to read their answers from the Try It section out loud to demonstrate the skills they learned in the lesson. In the 3rd through 8th grade books, the students begin with the Learn About It as the guided instruction, Try It as the guided practice, and Apply It for independent practice. Throughout the practice, the students will see HOTS, or Higher Order Thinking Skills questions, asking students to analyze the passage and think about it on a deeper level. Taking a look at the table of contents for Grade 1 and Grade 5, you'll notice that all of the Common Core standards are covered in a variety of lessons. Some of the concepts covered in the Grade 1 book you may have previously seen in a Grade 2 book. The reason for this is because Common Core is pushing down the curriculum in order for students to start learning concepts earlier. The Common Core standards have higher expectations and higher rigor, and this product really emphasizes that. In Grade 5 book, the lessons are combined into units and match the sub-standards of the Common Core state standards. Common Core pulls together several standards rather than breaking them out individually like the state standards did. Since the lessons within a Grade 1 and 2 book are slightly different from lessons in the Grade 3 through 8 books, we will look at a lesson from Grade 1 first and then go through a lesson from Grade 5. The lessons in Grades 1 and 2 are structured the same, and we reviewed the different components of those lessons in the All About Your Book slide 4. Now let's look at them in action. We will dive into a lesson from the Foundational Skills books. The Reading and Writing and Language books will have the same lesson format throughout. Remember, 3 different books were created to allow the teacher to have flexibility in teaching the Common Core standards, as well as ease the students into the higher rigor that this Common Core requires. In the Grade 1 and 2 books, we begin with the Get the Idea, and this is meant to be the guided instruction and modeled by the teacher. We understand that most students in 1st grade will not be able to read at this point. However, we recommend that the teacher instructs students to put their finger on the apple and follow along as they read. The students are then provided with an example and asked to identify items that are described in the instruction. The great thing about the Clinics product is that it requires the students to regularly interact with the text so that they stay engaged throughout. The Think About It section is guided practice and can be done together as a class or in groups. The students are provided with a reminder of what they just learned and then given the opportunity to practice the concept on their own. Since the Common Core requires students to write versus answer multiple choice questions, we wanted to make sure writing was included in their practice. Finally, the students come to the Try It section of the lesson. This is meant to be independent practice for the students. The teacher may still have to read the directions, but the student can complete the questions on their own. The students are asked to identify a mistake within the sentence, and then asked to write the sentence correctly. Again, emphasizing student writing as much as possible. Although the lesson on sentences that we just reviewed contained a lot of writing, some of the concepts within other lessons do not require as much. In order to make sure the students are still writing and explaining what they are learning, the read aloud component has been incorporated. You'll notice the students are asked to read a short story and draw a picture about what they read. At this age, drawing is considered a form of writing to show comprehension. If you flip through the book, you'll see variety in the way the lessons look. However, every lesson will include the Get the Idea, Think About It, and Try It sections to encourage the gradual release of responsibility model. Some activities are presented in different ways to keep the students engaged throughout. At the back of each grade 1 and 2 book, the students are provided with a glossary of terms found throughout the book. The students also receive fun and games that include suggested activities to enhance their grouping and matching skills, using cutout picture cards with adorable illustrations. We just reviewed a lesson from the Grade 1 Foundational Skills book. Just a reminder, there is also a reading and writing and language book within the Grade 1 and 2 Clinics product. You'll want to skim through these books to familiarize yourself with the materials. Although remember, the components and layout of each lesson within these books is the same. Now let's take a look at a Grade 5 Reading and Literature book. We reviewed the different components of the lessons in the All About Your Book slide 4. We also reviewed the table of contents on slide 5. The Reading Informational Text and Writing and Language books will have the same lesson format throughout. Remember, 3 different books were created to allow the teacher to have flexibility in teaching the Common Core state standards, as well as ease the students into the higher rigor that Common Core requires. Just like the Grade 1 and 2 book lessons, the lesson structure of the Grade 3 through 8 books is structured the same based on the gradual release of responsibility model. In the older grades, the guided instruction is called Learn About It. This is where the teachers will work together with the students and model the concept being taught. The students start with an explanation of the concept and definitions that will come up throughout the lesson. Then the students are asked to focus on what they just learned within the mini passage. Finally, the students are provided with a graphic organizer with details from the passage to exemplify the concept being taught. On the next page of the lesson, the students are asked to try it as they move into the guided practice part. The students are asked to underline clues and interact with the text, keeping them engaged as they practice. The students receive support throughout the passage to help them understand what is going on as they read. At the bottom, you'll notice the HOTS question that is asking the students to analyze the passage and take a deeper look at what is happening. This promotes higher order thinking and requires the students to draw inferences from the text. This is a big part of the Common Core. The third and last part of the lesson is the Apply It section, where the students will have independent practice on the concept being taught. As a side note, you'll notice that this passage is a drama. The Common Core Clinics incorporates different text genres so the student can gain familiarity with a variety of passages. Looking back at the lesson, the students are still asked to interact and be engaged with the text. However, this time they do not have the supportive hints and tips along the way. After the students read the passage, they have to answer open-ended questions in complete sentences according to the passage. At the back of the Grade 3 through 8 books, instead of the fun and games like you saw in the Grade 1 and 2 books, you'll find blank graphic organizers for the students to use as a resource throughout the lessons. It will help them organize their thoughts for their writing. We just reviewed a lesson from the Grade 5 Reading Literature book. You'll want to make sure you skim through the Reading Informational Text and Writing and Language book to familiarize yourself with the material. Just as an FYI, the Reading Informational Textbook will teach the students about reading nonfiction. The Writing and Language book will help the students with grammar usage and mechanics, really getting students experienced with organizing their thoughts through graphic organizers and writing their own passage. The components and layout of the lessons within all 3 books will be the same. Now that you've seen a detailed look at a Grade 1 and Grade 5 book, let's do a quick review of the Common Core Clinics. All of the content within the clinics books was created specifically to address the Common Core state standards. Each grade will have 3 books to allow the teacher flexibility when transitioning into teaching Common Core strands. You will not find multiple choice questions within these books. Rather, all of the questions are short answer and open-ended to promote critical thinking. All text genres are incorporated throughout the reading passages to provide exposure to a variety of texts. Finally, and most importantly, clinics are not test prep. Clinics will give the instruction students need to have a stepping stone from where they were when learning state-specific standards to where they need to be when learning the Common Core state standards. We hope you have found this training video to be informative and helpful. We appreciate you taking the time to learn about the ELA Common Core Clinics product and how it can effectively help teachers and students transition to the Common Core. For more information about this product and to review the books for all grades, visit optionspublishing.com and select your state.